My brother Aaron Cruz, TACFIT legend, TACFIT Team Leader.
Big Al, can I call you that? I like that one.
My old, friends and students, because my family calls me Al, so people that know me from those days, they call me Al. But everybody calls me Alberto now.
Alejandro.
Why not? How you doing?
Doing good. Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
First jiu-jitsu experience at your facility today. Felt great.
Yeah, it's awesome, man. It's great to see
Got
you.
my butt kicked.
Man, you did good.
Thank you.
Good. I always say, like, everybody that does TACFIT, they're purple belts, but they're so much better, they have so much better control of themselves. You know, their breathing, how to grab, not to over grab, right?
And then get hurt.
Right. And then you led an awesome cool down for us after. Learned a bunch of things, so thank you for that.
Thank you for
that was awesome.
The invite to do that. And we did a lot of internal rotation stuff for the hips. Like I was telling, Rhett. Yeah, he was telling me how he felt good after that, which I don't feel like I did much, but just specific to, what I feel like jiu-jitsu people need, that compensation for a lot of the hip work they do, right?
For sure, yeah, for sure. It was nice. My favorite one that you did was, I'd never done it before, was laying on the side, right, and having your arm underneath you, and then just opening up the rib cage.
Oh man, the lazy man side bend. I love it.
That was awesome,
That's one of my favorite. When
yeah.
I was totally smoked, and I'm like, man, I don't have any energy to pull anything to the side, and side bend stretch is kind of like gravity and your body weight do the work for you.
Yeah. So last time we talked, you shared your story, like how you got involved with TACFIT and Scott Sonnon and stuff. What's new? In your life? We have COVID, right?
Since then? Wow. Man, it's been a heck of a year, right?
Right.
Yeah,
one year ago.
Yeah. Last time I was here, we did the interview. I gave a little piece of, some of the battles and struggles I went through, as a child, and those experiences kind of mold who you are, later on. You can let them, break you down, mentally, and it'll show up physically later on. So I never wanted to, I have family that cares about me, my mom, my brother. And so I always think about them when, I don't want things to get the better of me, because I don't want to hurt them. Right. And so, it made me work really hard to, manage those stressors in my life, so they didn't get the best of me, and, it turned out, try to turn negative into a positive. Right. And it's funny because at the end of that, I kind of was, remembering, that gal that went through, she's going through leukemia, and I was following her story, and she was so strong, battling that, and kept her spirits up, and she knew she was going to pass, and her motto was keep swimming, right? And then right after that, COVID hit, and it really brought that saying, to fruit, right, to life, because we all had to go through this huge stressor in our lives, and we all had to keep swimming, or it's going to break you. And I've seen both ends. I've seen people stay positive and keep their brain busy and their body busy, whichever way they want to, however they're going to do it, and to manage the stress that's going on, because nobody is free from that. And, no matter what the stress is or what kind of pain you go through, it's going to be stress, right? Any kind of, whether you're in war or, or if you're, if you're a nurse, dealing with a busy hospital or busy workloads, schedule at work, that stress, even though people can say, you could easily judge it and say one's worse than the other, and be like, how can you say that's worse than war? You're not getting bullets shot at you, but what it does to you physically is the same. What it does to your brain.
Nervous system, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, of course, you could, paint it any which way you want, and your experiences will let you calculate.
You still get those same chemicals released inside of you, and still get those same emotions, right?
Yeah, and if you look at it like that, then there's definitely coping methods you can use to manage all that, right? No matter what the stress is that's coming your way. Some of course, is, can be really paralyzing. But, when you see someone that's, at hitting rock bottom, they almost do it the best when they come out of that stress, like someone that goes through, a divorce or something like that, or traumatic breakup with somebody. It's like the worst thing in the world, right? You're tied to that person. It's everything. And what do those people do right away? They go get in shape. They work out. They end up in the best shape of their life after that. You hear that, like, it's funny, but it's not. You hear someone be like, you want to get in shape? Get a divorce or break up with your, go through a hard breakup.
Yeah.
And, and that's a lot of time that's what it takes. You have a big reason why, to do stuff. And, you shouldn't have to go through those things to find your why, because that's where it becomes mind over matter. If you can, maybe find a way to put yourself in that situation mentally to where, you're almost forcing yourself to get up, playing little mind tricks with yourself before the outside world plays mind tricks with you, outside forces you can't control, then I think there's something to be said about that, And I do that all the time, I'll play little games in my head to get myself to do stuff. I don't know, like...
mindset is everything, right? Especially like these crazy times, just dealing with, whatever gets thrown at us, But keeping your mindset, then you can make the right decisions for yourself, right?
It's huge, but how do you get, someone that doesn't have those skills, how do you give them those skills, if they, a lot of it I think is because, maybe they never been challenged like that. They never had to show how strong, when the only things left is, how strong can you be, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's unprecedented time. How do you say that?
Unprecedented.
Precedented. Something like that. Times, right? So, yeah, just we're doing our best, right? Dealing with it.
Yeah. And they always said something crazy was going to happen.
But moving helps to get you in the right mindset, right? To balance everything, to make the right decisions, Yeah,
and it's a habit now at this point. So I can't pretend like, like someone else, like, let me do it. Why don't you just do what I'm doing? You know what I mean? It's not like that. We're all habitual creatures. So whatever you're used to doing, that's, it's going to be hard to shake that up.
Unprecedented.
Precedented.
Sounds like president, right? Unprecedented.
That's
sounds about right.
Yeah.
Man, I want to talk about club mobility. How that was born. Because we never had like a program like that. Before. And how was that? How did you develop that? How did that happen?
Well, my idea with Club L mobility was, like I've seen people, use light club bells, and they'll try to use them in the traditional way that you use heavy club bells, right? Even a 10-pounder is a heavy one if you have it in one hand. And then you get the 5-pounder, and it's very different, right? Every weight you get, it doesn't seem like it's going up 5 pounds or whatever it is. It's like, dang, did it go up 20 pounds? And it's only 5 pounds, right? Because all the weight's at the end of it, of course. And then in the 5s, they're a lot shorter, and they're, the weight's distributed pretty evenly all the way throughout, because it's tough, 5 pounds, right? And so I wanted to create something that combines like Intuflow, Scott Sonnon's Intuflow and mobility, with the light club bells, because there's a holistic benefit to them that I believe people were missing out on just because they're thinking that's too light for me, right? And so, if you have an experience with the Mobility 101, then those 5 pounds are too heavy for a lot of the drills that are in there, right? And so it definitely opens up your mind.
You even do it without the weight.
Yes.
Positions, like when you teach were you teaching the Facebook live classes?
I put them down a lot. Ended up getting really heavy because a lot of the movements, your arms are extended, right? You're not keeping the weight in close to you like you do a lot of the traditional movements with the heavier clubs, which is by design, right? You're bringing it closer to your center of mass, so you're using your whole body, and now. You're really, it's kind of like, reminds me of, like when the monks have you walk up the stairs with the water out, extending your arms, right? And it's like, the water's not super heavy, but your arms locked out, walking up, it becomes really challenging working your stabilization muscles. Right. And so just that idea, and just to get the that feedback, say if you're doing arm circles or, you can, if you do it with a club bell, you still get the traction of the tool trying to get out of your hand. And then it's not going to be too much if you don't have experience with the club bell, or if you don't have the reinforced tissues in your joints, to where if you did that with a 10 or a 15, you might get hurt, right? If you put yourself out in that length position. And so, and then, just to really, work on the landmarks of a lot of the positions, just so you can understand them better. And then also to get the benefit in your wrists as well, because you can manipulate the 5s and work your wrist joints a lot better than if you had a 10 just right off the bat before you, you really get time working with them with 10 pounders or 15s, even though there is that aspect there. But a lot of people, they might, hurt their wrists if they're not prepared for it, or maybe their elbows. And so with the mobility 101, you get to work on a lot of the extension of your arms, the wrist, the elbows,
all those extensor muscles.
Yeah, and kind of figure
that out.
Hands
and forearms. Yeah, we when you're doing the cool down, I was like, man, this guy knows his stuff. Hitting different angles that I've never done before. Pretty cool.
Scott Sonnon. It's all thanks to him,
Yeah, but like you feel the years, put into the craft.
When I think about it, it doesn't feel like it's been that long. But I'm like, but things don't when you're having fun, right? Doing stuff you love. Time just flies by.
When was the first cert that you did?
The first cert that I did, well, I'd already been training with the club bells and doing, a lot of the, I was doing flow fit, and I was doing, the trial by fire movements. I've been doing that for 2 years already. So I feel like when I went to the certification, I was like cheating almost when I went there. Even though it was my first experience, anything you do for the first time, you're super nervous, ton of anxiety.
You went to Bellingham?
I went to Bellingham. We went to that they rent out the hotel that.
Oh yeah.
That big
the new
carpet room.
Hampton Inn, something like that.
Yeah, it was packed. There's probably like 60 people in that.
Wow.
That certification. There was a ton of people in there, and I remember that one vividly because, I got to meet a lot of the people. A lot of people introduced themselves, and there was doctors there, physical therapists, had their doctorates and all that. So there's a lot of high profile people there that went to school for like, years and years to, learn about health. And they were, in this workshop that I was in, wanted to deepen their understanding, or almost like they didn't get everything they should have from, the schooling that they went to. And, now that I know more as I go on, there's not a way, they don't teach you this stuff. Everything's really outdated, in books or in like, when it comes to physical therapy, it's just like a piece of the puzzle. It's not the whole thing,
Right.
And, you have to have all the, your body's so complex. If you really want it to do well, you're going to have to understand a bit more than that and be able to do it yourself, be sustainable.
Yeah, it's a trip how far I feel like Scott Sonnon was ahead of his time,
Yeah, unreal.
And I go to these that fascia conference or whatever it was, it's already like 3 or 4 years, but we didn't have the technology up to like maybe like 6-7 years ago. And so like it was like people would, you had to like not fight people, but people call them crazy and quack, but now it's science, right? Because we have the technology to kind of prove it, I guess.
Yeah.
But, the reality is we probably don't know. We don't know. We think we know, but we don't know. We don't know anything, right? About how everything works together. But like just Scott being like holistic system, like everything's interconnected with everything. He was like he put it down. The stuff works. There's a reason why everybody's doing it around the world, right? For all these years.
Yeah.
And people say I'm a lifer. Like, man.
It sticks with you. It's amazing to see that the people have still do it. It says a lot, about the system, that, when you do it, of course, there's people that could be like, try to prove it and science and, they'll tell you this or that. But, if you do it and you feel it and you feel good, then it, it's good. Right. It's about as simple as that sometimes,
It is, right?
Calculate,
it is.
Yeah.
Your instincts, right? And if I feel good. This is good for me.
Yeah,
I should do it.
Yeah, where's that in the book?
Right?
You're going to feel good. They don't tell you that. No.
That's how it should be, right? When you train, when you move, you should be better. It should help you, right, in life. Be better at life.
And it's like, you think about that too. It's like, a lot of things people have done. Someone had to write the book, right, on like physical therapy or this or that. It's like, where did they get that from? The person that actually wrote the book. He figured it out by doing stuff, trying things out and feeling good, and then he wrote it down. He didn't read a book before there was a book, right? He did trial and error and actually experienced it and stuff like that. So, you can only, read about it so much until you have to go and, do it and experience it, right? And so I know Scott Sonnon talks about
what year
that.
did you do your first cert? Finally,
let's see. First one, it was definitely before 2010. So I would have to say I got in really good shape doing it all. I was like,
it was before the TACFIT cert even, right? It was like CSTs.
It was like I want to say 2009 or 8, somewhere around there.
And so the TACFIT cert didn't exist yet. It was CST.
Yeah, it was just CST. It was the 3 day cert. We went, and I believe it was in production. He was building it at that point, because I came back from the cert and I was super pumped up. It was like mine was just was blown from it. And I came back. I was already teaching group fitness and stuff, so I came back like wow, like I got more stuff to teach you guys. Super pumped up, and I know a lot of people can relate to that. And then shortly after that, within that year, I remember my gym mates, they were talking about this new system, TACFIT. We're going to go check it out. We're going to film for some of the stuff. And then the next time I went up, I went for my level 2 CST and then did TACFIT for the first time when I was there. And that was a 5-day thing. So I went the 3 day CST. I think it was like, what was it? It was like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then TACFIT was Saturday, Sunday. It might have been something like that. It was at the end of the week, through the weekend. And that was legit. I was like, this is nuts. It was like straight metabolic conditioning. I went through it. I was, it's different from, the trial by fire and the flow fit, which is great. But that opened up, strengthened all my mobility movements, right? Made me, fluid and traction.
Remind me, how did you, because you had that crazy your neck injury, right? And then you started to, tell me the story again with how you started to watch the DVDs, and that was the beginning, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I was suffering with that neck injury. Like, I thought my life was over. I was super depressed. I remember, I was in extreme pain, but I wasn't crying because of the pain. I was crying because I knew I was about to be handicapped for the rest of my life. And I couldn't believe it. You know what I mean? It was like, I just couldn't accept it. I was like, this is going to be my life now. I was like, are you kidding me? Because I was structurally bound in the neck. And so, I was just looking, for a pain specialist, this, that. And then my roommate I was living with, he had all this different fitness material. And he was like, I was telling him about what I was experiencing. And then he kind of prescribed, Scott Sonnon's Into Flow. He's like, you might want to check this out. This might help you. He didn't know, and I got the DVD and I read the back of it, the summary of it. And then I was like, it explained what I needed, everything he wrote on there, help with traction, this and that, release tension in the body. And that's everything he was saying. And it helped me do was everything I was feeling, all the pains I was feeling.
What you needed.
Yeah. And so it was like, it's going to help with all that. I was like, well, let me open this thing up immediately. Open it up, popped it in. I don't think I wasted any time. And then there goes the reason why, right? You got to have, rock bottom, like we talked about.
Yeah,
so
you just said.
Yeah. And so I was like.
You're open to it.
Oh, everything. I was like, I was all ears for anyone had anything for me. Some people are like, I need to work out, and I'll do it tomorrow. You know what I mean? Or something like that. Not me. I was like, I'm ready to go. I'm like, I got to get rid of this. It's miserable. And so I started watching his stuff, and what I remember about it the most that helped me was like nothing had to do with my neck, if you can believe that, right? And that's what really helped me understand the body a lot more is going through that injury, because a lot of the pain that you have is, you know, is coming from somewhere else, right? You know, you might feel it in a place, but it's always somewhere adjacent that's causing it, that's pulling on that.
Because the injury happened when you were wrestling around and you hit your head, right?
I got a strain in my neck. It was a guillotine.
A guillotine, okay.
Yeah, and so all the joints got popped and pulled, and I was trying to pull out of it. We were joking around. We weren't even wrestling. And it was just a weird like accident basically. And we weren't even supposed to be wrestling. So it was like something I was in a vulnerable position, and he dropped his weight when I was standing, and he whipped my head down. I try to hold him up with my back, you know, for I don't know what reason, but I didn't really understand what he was doing anyways, because we weren't wrestling.
Just a freak, you know.
Yeah, it was just a weird thing. And so it just strained all the tissues down my rhomboid behind my shoulder blade. And I heard all the vertebrae pop too, like, you know, not a good adjustment, right? When you go to the chiropractors, it's like a bad one. And it was just on one side, like, and it was fine. Like, you know, I felt like, I was like, wow, I feel like you stretched my neck out a little further there. Heard some things get put back into place, or maybe they're out of place. And then it was like 2 months later, you know, kind of like a car accident, you know, when your disc slip or something like that from the, you know, whatever the forces. And so when things healed, the next morning when I woke up, I felt the strained tissues down my back. And then,
but it just wasn't getting better.
No, it was fine. Like,
oh, it's fine.
Yeah, it was totally fine. I had to remember what I did 2 months later for my neck to be like that, because I just woke up and I had, you know, I felt like a kink in my neck. But every day that week, it got worse and worse. So, you know, I thought it was gonna go away, like I slept wrong. I was like, I'll chalk this day up. This day is ruined. My neck's tight. You know, and I've went through that before. That's why I was like, I'm just gonna go to sleep, wake up the next day. So I woke up the next day and I checked it, and I was like, oh wow. I was like, it's like less mobility and it hurts more. And then by probably like the third or the fourth day, I started getting worried. By the end of that week, I had no mobility in my neck at all, without feeling like someone put a knife in my neck, or my neck was in a break. You know, so I couldn't look up or down, couldn't tilt my chin up. Couldn't tilt
within
it
like
down.
a week.
Within a week. Yeah, happened that quick. It just, you know, and I can assume that, you know, the tissues were damaged, right? I had scar tissue in there from the strain.
Yeah.
So it was tight on one side, built up tension. It was just pushing, you know, it was probably loose on the other side, so it was pushing my vertebrae out and just held them out of place. And then there's no way for it to go back, because all those tissues were locked up. You know, they weren't supple anymore. They were tight and rigid, and just, you know, muscles are strong. You know, they move a lot of weight, so there's moving my joints out of place.
Yeah. And so you were saying, like, when you started to do the interflow, the thing you noticed that it wasn't that area, but it was another area.
Yeah. And so what I ended up doing, the interflow drill that helped my neck out, you would never even believe it.
Neck, right?
Yeah. It was just the elbow rotation. It was my arm down here doing that. That's what I would do all the time. I couldn't do anything else. Anything else I did hurt. So I had to figure out what I could do, and it took me further away from the injury. And I was like, so I started, you know, I started like that conversation with your brain and your nervous system and your body started happening when I was doing this stuff. I was like, oh, I can't do that. That hurts. I can do that. And then I would do this, and I'd feel I was working like the end of it, right? Because if I worked more directly in the middle, I was like, you know, it was moving.
Yeah.
It was, you know, touching the pain point too much. So I had to go at the very end of the pain and then work into it slowly. And so, you know, all these tissues from your bicep, they run up, you know, through your chest, through your collarbone, into your scalings, right? And that's where I was like, you know, I was so tight in that area from the injury. And then all the way down my back, that just rotating this did apply some rotation to the scap and the shoulder as I went around. So I was able to loosen that up slowly over time. And then I was also going to a chiropractor at the same time, but he couldn't adjust me either. And when I went in there, I told him not to adjust me. I was like, you know, and a lot of people don't know that about their body. They trust the doctor. They go in. If the doctor's not careful, he does an X-ray and he moves you around, he could hurt you, you know, damage you for good. So, you know, you want to use your better judgment when it's your body. You should have a good, you know, proprioception or awareness of your body to not, like, you know your body better than anyone else. So you can't go to someone and they're just going to tell you, you know, you have this itis, or you have that, and then that's who you are now.
Yeah.
You know, I hear that all the time. Well, I have this some itis, you know, and they'll keep telling people that, and they'll believe it to be true, and I'm like, forget all that. You know what I mean? Like, you're still you. You know, you just have, like, everyone has this stuff. You know, some kind of pain, some kind of deficit. No one's perfect. You know, you don't have to, you know, label yourself. That's who you are. You know, I was never going to be like, I'm going to be a person that is, you know, with this injury that I can't recover from. If it is something that, you know, like, you know, if I got injured doing that, there should be a way out. If I got my way into this, I should be able to find my way out of it, right? I did it all myself, so, you know, I'm going to try to find, you know, a way out of it. And I just slowly just chipped away. Basically, that's what I was doing, just chipping away at the tension. And the chiropractor actually had the Pro Adjuster, so he just was it non-abrasive at all? So he would just tap down my spine, you know, vibrations, and it felt good, but it really felt like nothing was happening at all. So I could see how people go to a chiropractor and be like, you know, I'm just wasting my money, didn't do anything, this and that. But I was in so much pain that I would feel 0.01% better every day. And I was like, I'll take it. You know what I mean? It was such a small scale of feeling better, but the pain was so intense that I noticed the tiny bit of relief I got. And I was like, I'm going that direction, because the other direction is, I don't know what's going to happen if it gets worse and worse. So I just took 3 months, you know, and I'm saying 3 months to regain mobility again in my neck, to, like, you know, thank the heavens, you know. I was like, whoa, my goodness, you know, and then you know, after that, you know, I still didn't even know who Scott Sonnon was, really. You know, after that, I went through that.
You watched his DVDs and
watched
him every day and read his stuff.
Yeah. And, you know, I was mainly the into flow. I watched just that, and I really didn't get into. Let me see. After that, did I start swinging club bells or anything like that? Actually, I think once I really got back into my fitness after that. Once I, you know, because it scared me to death. So I was like, you know, I got to get stronger, and so once my neck got better, that's when I started. That's when I was like, who is this guy? And once the pain was gone, I could think again. And I was like, what else does he have? You know, and I remember seeing the club bells already, and I had tried to move them around before I got hurt, and someone had me do a torch press with it. My wrist and everything was really weak. And so when I did it, my wrist was bending, and it hurt my wrist. And I was like, and it was really light, the 10-pounder. I was like, why am I need to lift some weights over here? And I was just like, I never touched them again until I hurt my neck, and I got better. And I was like, it's not what you have someone do with them right off the back, you know. I was like, you have them do something that's going to hurt the joint and feel too light, like they're doing nothing, you know. And then I learned to appreciate, and I learned the other moves, which you can really do to get the full holistic benefit from the club bells. And, you know, once I learned how to, you know, circle them around and move them in circles and stuff like that, oh my goodness. I was like, wow. Then my brain opened up again. I was like, I started thinking about sports. You know, I played baseball for a lot of years. And so right away, the mill, I was like, man, this translates over to, you know, throwing. I'm thinking in my head right away. And it did, you know. And so, you know, what did I do? Like at almost 30, I went back and tried out for baseball after that. And I was, you know, my arm was live again, you know, no injuries, nothing like that. You know, I hadn't thrown in, I don't know how long. The only thing I was throwing was this club bell, you know, and I was just like, no one else knew that. But the coach, he was like, I remember asking me, like, how old are you? You know, they knew how old I was, but they're watching me one day out there run around, throw the ball. You should have your, like, shoulder injuries that they shouldn't be as mobile. Yeah, they probably couldn't. Fluid. Yeah, they probably couldn't understand that. And I knew that's because I was impressed myself. I was like, man, I'm gonna be doing this the rest of my life. I know it. I already knew it right then. I was like, I'm gonna be in shape the rest of my life because of how it made me feel. How it made all my, you know, release tension in my joints. It made me feel springy again and buoyant. You know, like I always explain to someone like a bow and arrow, right? Or I saw someone just post up a slingshot, right? Right. Yeah. So. I think I posted Nick did for the TACFIT, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. The sit-through knee, sit-through extension, whatever, sit-throughs. Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny that you hurt your neck and you're open to you know,
watching the Interflow and really accepting, you know, the knowledge, right? Yeah, being open to it, right? And my one thing that really, because he helped me for my UFC fight back in whatever 2007, 2008. The one thing that I never forgot about was I got thrown on my head, and somebody, I think it was like suplex or something, you know, like that was kind of a freak thing too, and my neck was so bad, you know. And usually, you know, like if you just touched my head, or I was in pain all the time, you know. And usually, you know, you take pain pills, and you know, the doctor talks about surgery, you know,
right away,
like 46 weeks, you know. And I had a fight coming up, and he kind of went over it with me, and he's like, he did some assessments, and then he's like, okay, try this movement, you know, like this one right here, like this, you know. And every time you have pain, just stay out of pain. But every time you're in pain, do this movement. Stay out of pain, but do the movement. And so when I was driving or whatever I was doing, you know, as soon as I felt it, that was my signal to kind of start doing the movement. Man, within a week, I was able to heal myself.
Man, isn't that amazing?
You know, and then it just kind of blew my mind that I was able to heal myself with movement. And that's something I never forgot. And I always wanted to do TACFIT, but there wasn't a TACFIT in, you know, anywhere near me, you know. And so hopefully we can help change that, you know.
Oh man, that's like a dream come true right there, to be able to do that. I mean, people need it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, a lot of things I dream, like, you know, I'm a big dreamer. You know what I mean? I don't talk about them, but you know, because it's a private thing for me, and I'm like, I don't know. I just want to sound like a mad scientist saying all this shit.
Share with us.
Man, I dream about tons of things all the time, you know. I always, you know, I do a lot of forethought, you know, and imagine how, you know, things can be and this and that. You know, of course, hindsight's always 20/20, but you know, I feel like I got a pretty good crystal ball, and you know, of course, you can't predict anything that's going to happen or anything like that, you know, but you can adapt, right? And if you have a direction, you can still. I mean, you need to have a mission or a dream. Yeah. You know, and that's definitely one of them.
Tell me some dreams. Yeah, the gyms and.
Man, I mean, right away,
city.
Like just a foundational, you know, dream is, you know, of course, you know, I opened up, you know, my own gym and started my own business about 3 years ago, and you know, I had no idea how that was gonna look, but like I said, the dream in the back of my head is to definitely have, you know, TACFIT be the foundation, you know, of that gym, because even though, you know, people are going to come in just for the exercise, the group atmosphere, you know, I'm going to be giving them stuff they need, right? You know, they're going to come in and, you know, I'm going to give them what they want, because, you know, people want a certain thing. So you got to feed that, you know, and by doing that, it's going to keep them engaged, right? But then I'm going to sneak in the stuff that they need, right? And just understanding that, I try to find like a graceful way of doing that, you know, because if you're just constantly giving people what they need, they might not understand, you know, why am I here doing this, right? This and that. And, you know, doing that, and then, you know, having, you know, a TACFIT gym, and then all the different systems you could have there because of that. You know, as part of that dream, like, you know, I started, you know, my brother Isaac, you know, he has a great system, the Viking Ninja, and he learned a lot of great ways to teach mitt holding, right, and striking to make it fun in a group atmosphere, right, just like how you have here the Dwayne Bang Muay Thai, yeah. and he learned a lot of stuff from him as well, you know, and he's very much like Scott Sonnon. I like to think of it like that. Like Scott went around and, you know, took all these good things from people, and with his background, his creativity, and his knowledge, he's able to create this system that's complete, right? That can resonate with lots of people, you know, which is huge, which a lot of systems don't have, to where it's accessible for everybody to learn, because not everyone learns the same, right? And you have to understand that and appreciate that if you want to help more people out. Right? And so, you know, I never done a ton of mitt holding or strike. Like, you know, I was always a connoisseur watching boxing and stuff like that. Yeah. But he showed me like an easy, accessible way to hold mitts. And, you know, even though I end up holding more mitts than anything now because I'm, you know, teaching people, letting the, you know, clients have fun. It was a lot of fun having that class. So I started out, you know, having that extra class there because I knew it would be something that a lot of people want, you know, and you know, and then I could sneak in stuff they need, you know, help them, show them how to generate more power, apply it to how TACFIT, you know, relate the TACFIT movements into that. And then, you know, I appreciate jiu-jitsu. And so I wanted to get a jiu-jitsu instructor in the facility as well. If I had, you know, big enough space, I have the mats for it and stuff like that. And then, you know, even doing that, you know, I'm creating jobs, opportunities for somebody, you know, that, you know, within, you know, a system that I love, to where, you know, we're training coaches or we're able to, you know, level up people from white belt all the way up to, you know, blue, purple, black, to where they can teach or whatever the case may be. So I was like, another dream of mine, I was like, I'm just gonna, you know, maybe professor let me pluck one of his students that maybe wants to move up north and, you know, teach, you know, legacy jiu-jitsu, you know, at the facility. So then I'll have striking, jiu-jitsu, TACFIT, and, you know, just have these three and just have it like a machine working there and just everybody rotating through those things. And, you know, of course that's great for everybody else, but, you know, then I want to have someone like teaching all that stuff so I could just be a member there. You know what I mean? I want to be a member at my own gym. That's my dream. And not have to, you know. That's
the model, though, I think. That's the model, really. That's the model. You know, the bang with the jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, you know, Muay Thai, like striking, you know, and what I love about the bang Muay Thai, right, is the spatial awareness. You get all the things, right, proprioception. And, of course, like, I haven't spent too much time with Isik on the striking, but I watch, you know, his things, and, you know, he says it goes so well with, you know, even, you know, because you get the movement things down, right, which translate into, you know, the bang Muay Thai, which translate into everything, right, any kind of movement things. So it just makes you better as well. Health first, you know, right? Yeah.
That's something I noticed about the mace stuff they did. So I don't have a ton of experience with that either. And the deeper I'm diving into it and getting more feedback, like I could really see how that closed chain tool that you hold, you know, it's going to cause you to rotate, you know, like closed chain movements do. There's not a lot of variables there. It's, you know, it'll show you, it'll expose you, right? And how, you know, you can't cheat. There's nowhere to go, you know, and so when you use the mace and more so than
the, you know, the more open chain with the clubbells, right?
Yeah, you have a lot of play in different areas of your body.
But if you have restrictions, they get exposed.
Exactly. And so, you know, the way you put that together as well, I could see how, you know, you could really generate a lot more power into your punches, and you know, because you are, you know, you're getting your strength from the ground, and you're connecting that all together, you know, and all that goes right into, you know, Scott Sonnon's teaching and philosophy. You know, it's like fingers to toes, skin to bone, and I mean, you know, the more you read that stuff and then you do the stuff, and you know, you're like, you know, maybe at first when you read it, you're just like, what? Like you don't really know, and then you go back and you're just like I'll never forget these things. You know what I mean?
You got to do it though. You got to do it.
Yeah.
First step is to do it. You can read it, you can, you know, watch it, but you got to do it yourself.
And like a lot of people think that, you know, I've been doing this so long, so of course I'm gonna understand a lot. I know anyone coming in and they're just learning this for the first time, you got to be patient with them. They're not going to get that feedback right away. They're not going to understand stuff. You know, how you're not going to see it the way you do. You know, they have a lot of people have, you know, muscle amnesia. You know, they don't know what their feet feel like to move around, or, you know, they never move their body through a full range like that.
Sitting down all day, right? And they forget how to do certain movements.
Yeah. And then the body will find a way to, the body doesn't want to be in pain. So you would think, you know, I'm so impressed with the human body, the way it works, because you know, I move around a lot, and I'm like, I notice every little ache and pain I got. And if I sit down for, you know, on a plane ride or something like that, I'm like trashed after that. And so I'm like, people that do that all day, 8 hours, I'm like, sensei. I'm calling them sensei. Right. I'm like, you are a desk warrior. I'm like, I don't know how, you know, but the body will find a way to not be in pain. It doesn't want to be in pain. And so it'll do stuff. It'll take away ranges, you know, and so you don't feel that anymore. And then you'll just get used, you'll have a new movement pattern. right?
Until a certain point, right? Because you're not moving like you were supposed, like you were designed.
Mm-hmm. And you know, not only that, it's so gradual when that happens, you know, that you don't even realize what that's doing to your brain, how it's changing you as a human being, you know, and that's where it goes to where people are like, it's just working out, it's just exercise. And I'm like, well, yeah, it is, you know.
It's life itself, right?
Yeah. And you know, it can't be like that. If you're just showing up somewhere and doing a step class, or, you know, I don't have anything bad to say about step spin class, stuff like that. But the difference of taking your body through a full range and being a more intelligent mover versus, you know, just pedaling away on something, or just being on a rower or a bike, which I enjoy doing for a purpose, is just not enough, you know, to get that feedback to your brain, you know, and being able to, you know, understand your coordination and have a way to train that without feeling like, you know, no one wants to feel like a klutz, you know, every time you do something, but you don't want to be afraid of that and not ever try anything new, you know. And so there's definitely some kind of grace if a teacher's there and they help, and you go to try something new and they help you feel successful right away, right off the back. They're not giving you something that, you know, like, you're like, I'm never going to be able to do that. And I felt like bad about myself the whole time. And why am I ever going to come back? You know, kind of thing. You know, it's really on the teacher on that. You know, you have to give people, you know, small goals to really feel good about, right? To make them really boost their confidence, and, you know, on a moment's notice, right? You know, of course, there's stuff going to be in there hard, but then you have a way to show them, you know, how well they did. If there's a way to, you know, to do that, right?
Yeah, you talk about like mobility, you know, and like I just think of myself, right, and my journey in TACFIT, and like I couldn't put my seatbelt on in my car because I was so tight. You know, I had no twist, so many other things as well, you know. But like when your body adapts, you know. For example, I didn't turn around, you know, being with my kids, and I wouldn't turn my neck around to look behind because it hurt so much, right? But you realize your body adapts, right? Your body adapts to that. And you just go through your life not realizing, right, that you're missing out on life itself because you're losing your movement capability, right? That's what you're saying.
Yeah, it's so gradual.
It's crazy. Yeah, it's so crazy, you know. Even my eye, I wasn't looking up to a certain way because of some trauma that happened, you know, from a fight, you know. I wasn't looking up to the right because something must have happened that, you know, so it like remembered, like, don't go there. And so I wasn't looking up to the right.
And how did that, like, I know it's hard to tell sometimes but like, do you remember like maybe like what your mentality was then versus now? What kind of person
I'm much more open. I'm much more like I said in my TACFIT video, my team leader video, you know, that, you know, I felt more connected within, you know, and I just felt like I was more connected to others and just like the world itself, and it just made me a better person, you know, because of it, you know. And it's all from just getting some of my ranges of motion back, you know. It just made me better. It made me, like, my brain started to work better. I got smarter. I had a hard time comprehending books. I used to read a lot when I was younger, and I don't know, from the fighting or my multiple sclerosis or whatever, I had a hard time reading and comprehending. But I really focused on the quality of my movement and my breath with the movement and the structure, and then things started to come back and just started to connect more and more and more and more. You know, I didn't dream for 10 years. And my first dream was the club bells, you know, like me, like doing, you know, locking my legs out, you know, and just crazy, you know.
Your first dream after 10 years was club bells and locking your legs out?
Yeah.
We got to get you out more. Yeah. I'm just kidding.
Right? I was traveling all over the world following, you know, this damn TACFIT stuff, you know, but it's changed my life, you know, and I felt it within, right? Within. And then, of course, the outside comes, right? Like you get in like phenomenal shape, like the fat and stuff just burns off you. But it's like, it's crazy, you know, it's crazy.
Yeah. It always, like, that's something I think about a lot, you know, like, you know, how much different and better people would be. Like, you know, everyone thinks always like abs or like, you know, getting shape. I'm like, that's not even what I'm thinking about when I think about working with people.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about exactly what you just said, like, you know, being able to enjoy your family more and just being more present.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Present, yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I know that's, you know, it's hard to even have that conversation with somebody because, you know, they'll be like, what do you mean I am present? You know, what are you trying to say? You know, it's not, because they don't know anything else.
Right.
And so, I mean, And I understand that is, so it's, that's why it's cool that we're doing this.
That's why we got to have TACFIT gyms, and all the neighborhoods, all the cities,
People could just show up and just be a workout.
That's
it.
Yeah,
it's just a workout.
But done the right way, right? Mm-hmm. The right way.
And next thing you know, boom. I love seeing people progress in the system because, I've seen a lot of people work out and get hurt, and that's not why you want to do it. Yeah. You don't want to work out to get worse, you want to get better.
I feel good. Mm-hmm. Man, we talked about a lot on the phone, about the roadmap. I'm always thinking like TACFIT, like a TACFIT, somebody coming into TACFIT, what's the roadmap? What's the progression with all the things that we have, right now?
The roadmap, like someone just never been to a cert or anything like that.
Right. Just, they hear me talking about TACFIT. Hey, I want to, where do I start? What should I do? And then let's go all the way.
So man.
Let's go all the way from zero to hero.
Man, I fantasize about this a lot too as well. Someone coming in, they, for whatever reasons, whatever their reasons are, they see it, they probably understand a little bit how beneficial it would be, and they could see, maybe it looks cool, but besides that, it looks like, like something that they need to probably be doing to feel better, and then they come and, I love that atmosphere because, those people get a lot of questions answered when they come, and from someone coming in for the first time to, being an instructor to coach, making it to head coach, I want it to be something that, if they come 3 times to certification or 1,000,000 times, they'll always get something from them because that's the way the system is. There's always, it's like the saying that we have, the deeper you go down the rabbit hole, the more stuff you're going to find, and that's how it was for me. Every time I went to a certification, over 10 years ago, there's a lot of great coaches there always. Scott always kept great coaches around him. They always had lots to offer with the foundation of the system, in mind. So everyone has a different background, whether it's gymnastics or maybe they play baseball or, they were a boxer, whatever the background is. You can put, if you do it's like TACFIT's the foundation. And so you can find how you can be better at whatever it is that you love, through that. And so someone coming in, they go through the first thing. They're an instructor.
But what programs should they do? Like, should they start with Intuflow and then and then go to the certification? Should they do Viking Ninja, the steel mace, right away, or should they do the club bells first? Just from your opinion,
From my opinion, I think people should definitely understand how to floss their joints, how to do Intuflow, understand, how to articulate their joints. Mm-hmm. They'll be very successful in just about everything they do. They'll have a lot of answers for anything that comes up when they do that. And it's something you're always going to go back to. It's very foundational. You're just working one thing at a time, one joint at a time, and you're learning how it works, and then you're getting a lot of feedback, and maybe you might be tight somewhere, maybe you have an old injury, and then you can use those tools to work that out, and then you have the club bells and the test for that, the trial by fire, and then you have flow fit, body weight stuff. Club bells are going to give your joints a lot of traction, strengthen your joints. So I feel doing that and then doing body weight, something like flow fit, to where you can, you're on your hands a lot, where you can compress your wrists a little bit. They're really complementary to each other with the Intuflow.
We talked about that, yeah.
So if someone did that and had just a basic understanding of that and put that into their practice, it wouldn't really matter what you did after that. You could do the mace stuff, you could do TACFIT, but I would totally recommend doing TACFIT first, because
TACFIT first.
Oh yeah, definitely, because it's going to give you that solid base in the qual test.
So Intuflow, and then we're trying to work on steps, right?
Yeah.
But the whole TACFIT cert is a journey in itself, right? If that's the way you have to learn, right? That's a good way, I think.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and I mean, if you wanted to do it like the perfect route, if that's what we're talking about, I would say into flow.
Get your into flow 101. Start with that. Do that.
Start with that, and then you go to your club bell work, right?
Okay.
And you can almost mix that in with the flow fit. It could be, they complement each other so well that it would be worth doing both back.
Start
and forth.
playing around with the club bell and.
Yeah, because you could release. You're holding on to the club bell, so you're really working your grip. That's why it's my understanding why they call it trial by fire, because your hands and your forearms are on fire going through that club bell test, right? But besides that, a lot of the focus there, people don't have that that strength there, never used it that much, to where you can train it that well, your grip strength. And then you can release all that with the flow fit, finding the ground with your hands, that forward pressure, having a better relationship with the ground. And, arguably you could do either one of those first, because you
any of the three.
Yeah, any of the three, the into flow, the club bells, or the flow fit. Because
I guess I was talking about the certs, so you were just talking about like programs, right, to do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's definitely starting with those three:
into flow fit,
into
club
flow fit,
work.
Club bell.
You like the king of clubs?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And the flow fit 101, it's a short program, right? But it's, I think it's like 2 weeks, right? But there's also like Scott, which Scott, 6 degree flow, right?
Yeah, but so, even though if it's just a few weeks,
no, you get the principles, right?
Oh yeah,
like,
then it's part
Elena's,
of you.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you start exploring from there, and you just it opens up your mind to what your body can do. It's super motivating once you start feeling your how great you feel after. And one thing I've always done, because I like to run a lot, and I played a lot of sports, but I know when I do flow fit, it really restores a lot of my lower half, my feet, my ankles, my hips releases, because of the 6 degrees of freedom it takes you through. So just doing those right there is going to give you a solid base foundation and really make your joints durable. And then from there, sky's the limit. And then going into TACFIT, you're going to develop this metabolic conditioning through this solid base, right? Through the way the time protocols are in TACFIT and the selection of exercises. So it's really going to teach you how to work out hard but safe though, which is awesome. You'll be able to move more weight around in there.
So into flow fit, and club bell kind of at the same time. Maybe do 1 day flow fit, 1 day club bell.
Yeah, it'd be perfect. Yeah, because you'll be able to, like I said, they decompress each other. So you'll get you'll be able to train more often without any compensations building up. And I definitely believe in that to the T, because I've done it for years and years, and I don't even feel like I've worked out. I could go through a hard workout with club bells and body weight stuff back and forth, even in that same session. And I'll just, I'll pump out, say, quad presses, and I'll get up, start swinging some club bells, and they'll decompress each other. By the time I'm done, I got a good pump and everything like that, and I feel like I don't feel tired. I feel energized. And I'm like, man, I was just moving around all kinds of weight, my body weight, and I'm like, I feel like I've done nothing. I'm just moving better now. So it's like, to this day, that's what
mind blown.
Yeah. Even as long as I've been doing this, I could still, it's still shocking for me, which is crazy, right? And then you never get bored,
I think, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. Like, that's the genius of that. For somebody to create something new, right? Yeah, you studied from different places, but just create something like this, like a masterpiece. I feel, for life, right? It's crazy, right? It blows my mind. Like Nestor, we talk about it too. It's like for somebody to do that.
And he did it in '96. I'm like, what the heck? I want to be a fly on his wall when he was coming up with all this stuff. Right? Serious, it must have been like out of this world,
man,
on another planet.
Okay, so club bell work, flow fit work, same time, and then from there you would recommend maybe like a TACFIT cert.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just right away, like when I did TACFIT, my first experience with it, I went through HRP. That was my first experience with TACFIT without even without even going to the cert or anything like that. I went through HRP. And what a HRP is, it's an acronym. It's hard, responsible, push. And so you do all 26 programs in 26 days. You go through the whole alphabet. Of course, it has to be done a certain way. I mean, it's going to be hard to, you know, so a 4-day wave is no intensity, low intensity, moderate, high intensity. And that's the way I've always trained, like, since I was like, this is genius, the 4-day wave. I have a good story on that too. Remind me later. But I've always trained that way, and I thought it was just like genius way to not overtrain and to have something to do on a rest day, right? People don't do anything or whatever the case may be, however, you know, rest day, or there's no rest days, this and that, but you could still do stuff.
Stronger in the recovery.
Yeah, you could do your into flow, and then if you feel good enough, you could do some other light work, some soft work.
What's an example of, give an example of all the different, of the 4-day wave, what you would do on a certain day?
Okay, so let's say if I was doing like TACFIT protocols, right? I'd pick out one of the workouts in the alphabet, and what I would do is on the no day, maybe I would grab some club bells, or just
on the no day,
grab some light club bells and just do decompressive work. You know, nothing where I'm worried about the weight at all. Maybe like a 10-pounder, 5-pounder. Just do maybe circles with them, or little rocket drills with them, just to pump my ankles, feet, and hips, and just to get the blood flow. Basically, is what I'm doing, just to loosen up. Because, like I said, you could do the club bells and some body weight stuff and feel like you've done nothing. Yeah, and feel like you've done nothing at all. And so that's what I want to do. You know, I do that just to get blood flow throughout my body, and I mean, it makes perfect sense.
So do little circles with club bells.
Yeah, like the full range.
Right.
Arm circles.
You know, have some weighted,
Do the rotational stuff with them, like that, to rotate your spine.
Some rockets,
Do some rockets. I might throw in some single leg squats. I like using the club bell for single leg squats because I have I'm tight in my lower half, my ankles and my hips. I've played a lot of sports, so I've used those areas, like crazy. And so having a little bit of weight to counterbalance, so I'll use a club bell. I'll punch it out in front of me, and it'll help me keep my center of balance.
Nice.
And help me drive through my tight ankles and shins and calves. And so I'll use it for that, and I'll get tons of feedback for that. Like, it works my core like better than a sit-up, because I'm trying to work through this tightness on the way down, maintain
and so
crown to coccyx.
Would into flow, would that be
oh yeah,
no intensity? Another, if you feel like maybe that day, that's what you would do.
Yeah, if I didn't want to pick up the club bell and do, basically I'm doing into flow with the club bell. If I didn't want to do
club
that,
bell mobility is like the intent with that.
Exactly. And if I felt like that might be too much, I didn't want to get that deep into that, maybe because of something I did, maybe that didn't start out no intensity. Maybe the reason I'm doing no intensity is because I had a high intensity day the day before. So I might just do straight into flow, and then do some closed chain into flow on the ground as well to decompress myself, and then just leave it at that. Maybe not do too much, because I want to help the blood circulate without fatiguing my adrenals, right? My nervous system and stuff, just restore a lot of that. And so I might use a little bit of club bells for that too, but nothing long duration or anything like that. Just a lot of full body general stuff. And then I'll go into my light day, and what I would do is Scott Sonnon's ageless mobility, his yoga routine that he does.
Okay.
And so I would do that on a light day, and that can easily get into like a moderate, so you have to really understand what it is you're doing, because you might feel really good, and you might be like, I feel really good, I'm gonna do a little bit more and a little bit more, because maybe you recovered fast the day before, whatever the case may be. But I would have to know that I'm gonna be I would do a little bit more like a Spasari yoga or as ageless mobility, and then I might practice some of the workout I'm going to do in that 4-day wave, right? So say it'd be Charlie, every minute on the minute, okay? And so I know I'm going to be doing hinge squatting with the club bell. I'm going to be doing knee throughs. I'm going to do a push-up. So I'll prepare, my chest and shoulders, make sure my hinge and my squat is feeling good.
Movement patterns for that.
Yeah, for those as I go into it. And then and so that it could be done a number of ways on the light day. I could just stick to the yoga, but make sure I'm not, going past where I'm fatiguing myself, but I am adding more of a load, more stability, more of a load. And then I'll go into the moderate day, or I might even do some flow fit too, just
on the light day.
Yeah. It's just super slow. Yeah. Just
feel yourself.
Just explore the movements, play around, just anything like that. Doesn't have to be this or that. Just super slow, not really raise my heart rate super crazy or anything like that. I could even run, and if I did run, I would just, run like maybe just open up my stride for like 10 strides and then just walk, shake it out, just to get more blood flow or whatever, but not anything sustained, not using it, not sprinting uphill or anything like that. Because then I'll feel that fatigue on when it's time for me to work out on the moderate day. So then the moderate day comes and I'm doing Charlie, and it's every minute on the minute. I'm not going to be attached to doing all 20 rounds. I'm going to go in like, I don't know what's going to happen, right? Because I know I'm going to do this again the next day. And so I got to keep that in mind, right? The high intensity is game day. You know what I mean? It's like you've been practicing all week, and Sunday, the game's coming up, football Sunday. That's when I want to go buck wild, right? And so I'm just prepping myself for that day. And so on the moderate day, I'll go through the movements. I'll pick a proper weight that I don't have to worry about, but I'm gonna get a lot of feedback from. So for me, that would probably be like a 20 or 25 pound club bell, shoulder squatting it, and then watching. If it's every minute on the minute, it's easy to go high intensity, because you're owned by the clock. You want to get this work done in, and so. But if I prepped right, it should give me a lot of time to rest, and I just want to make sure I just feel good on all my movements. So I feel something funny, I'm going to take a round off, or maybe 2 rounds off. I rarely take 2 rounds off, but I'll just do a round, take a round off, do a round, take a round off if I have to, or maybe 2 rounds in a row if I feel really good.
Or rest the movement, lower the rep count on your every minute on the minute. Yes,
yep. You can lower the rep count for sure. I would do that, and having a lighter weight or tool, whatever I'm using, not too light, because you want to get you want a proper weight for the feedback for your strength. And then, just take it easy.
Stress your body enough, right?
Yeah, just to, it knows what's going to do the next day, right? Not be tired. And then the next day, I just go for it. Just, what do they say? Balls to the wall. Let's go. And it's game time. So it's really a mental thing for me, too, when I step into that high intensity day. If I prepped it right, then I'm like, I'm fired. I'm like laser focus. I'm about to get this done.
That's cool. You broke that down really nicely.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Done it a few times.
I think it's helpful, to just hear your what you do, right? From doing it for how many years, decade plus.
And then you want to hear about the hard responsible push, the HRP?
Yes.
Because that's every day, right? And so you have to do it differently, right? And Scott Sonnon has talked about that before. I don't know if he has it written anywhere, but verbally I've heard him say that, whether it's passed down or whatever the case may be. It definitely sounds like something he would say. Like if you're doing the hard responsible push, he labeled it that, and I mean the descriptions in what it's called, HRP, hard responsible push, right? Sure. Be responsible, right, about this, because you're doing these programs and just the protocols by themselves. You're going to hit this 4 times. You're going to do AMRAP, and you're going to do every minute on the minute. And a lot of times you're doing it every day. It's not going to land on a high intensity day, these workouts, right? And I try to map it out to where those things kind of land on the high intensity day, but it's not going to. And so what I do with that is I'm still working a 4-day wave when I do that. And what it is, I'll just go moderate. I'll go moderate, high intensity. Moderate, high intensity. Whether it's moderate, or I'm just like, some days I'll wake up and I'm just destroyed. And so it might be just like, let's see what happens. It's probably not moderate, but I'm just, once again, just trying to get the blood flowing, right? Because that's going to help me recover faster. And it's always a trip going through the 26 days, because you hit this point, and I've done it several times, but like, I try to do it first thing in the morning, get it out the way.
First thing in the morning.
Yeah, like early before I start. I'll get up
stomach?
extra early. Oh yeah, yep. I'll hydrate if I can, or I'll be very aware of that the whole time, whether it's at night or I'll try to slam some in the morning a little bit. But you're pretty trashed. Going through this. I mean, like every fiber in your body is like, there's nothing that's not sore in your body. Like you're just like, it's a great experience, I'll tell you that. And so about 2 weeks into that, you're just, you're questioning your life and everything. You're just like, should I, I could take the day off. I don't need to do this, right? But then that's just, it taps into your head, that fight or flight thing, right? But you can do this stuff, right? And then you just do what you can, and then you get past that point. And it's like 2 weeks in, and once you get to like the third week, man, and like towards the last week, you're just like an animal. It's unreal.
26 days.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the last week, you're just like, what is going on? And man, I am ripped after doing that. That's like the one thing I do. Like when I get, once I got that program and that idea, like I did that before every cert. I would go to, I do HRP before and then recover and make sure I time it. So I get a week or two recovery before I go in, and then I'll actually train whatever it is that I'm certing for, whether it's the club bell or it's usually TACFIT at that point. And man, you just you really crush it. And then I also did a HRP with just the first 6 programs. So then I got more fine tuned into because I knew that the certification you're going through the first 6 programs. So I would just cycle all 6 for the month in a 4-day wave, moderate, high intensity, and just really dial in those movements. And I just thought it was just a great way to work on your metabolic conditioning, not only your metabolic conditioning, but the specific drills you're going to be doing. And you're going to have to do them all in a weekend anyways. So I mean, it just made sense for me just to grind those out for a month, all 6 of them and stuff like that. And so it's definitely if nobody has done it before, definitely be responsible, right? Nice. Responsible push, and just do what you can, right? Because your body's gonna let you know the rest.
Thanks. That was such good information. And I wanted to go back to the certification and just the journey, the TACFIT journey. So we got to you start with some into flow, learn the into flow fit, get some club bells, learn the club bells, right? And then maybe do TACFIT cert.
And then I went TACFIT cert, And I've always done them. I don't even know if I could do it just the TACFIT by itself. Like I did it. I always want to do all 5 days. I was like, I want to go all the way.
Yeah. So I mean, we're in the virtual world right now, right? But so after the TACFIT cert, or for me to get deeper into the flow fit, right? Really learn the breath, to get really detailed, right? The quality of your movement.
But you got to have it to pass and to do well.
Yeah.
Your breath, if you start panicking, start hyperventilating, I mean, all your movements look like crap after that.
And then the club bell, right? Make sure you have the technique, right? Your 7 key components and your breath.
Breathing,
yeah. You have the technique down, right? Your breath, the correct structure.
You have to get in the zone. That's the flow state that Scott talks about. Yeah, and you get into that zone during these things. I mean, you're doing it long enough, designed so well that it puts you there,
And then after that, and we have the steel mace now, right? The Viking Ninja steel mace. So is that the roadmap you would maybe suggest? Everybody's different.
Everybody's different. I've thought about this, and now that I have, enough experience with all of them and understand the holistic benefit to all the modalities and the tools themselves, the into flow, the club bell, flow fit, the body weight, it's definitely a great way to start. If someone's like, where do I begin? Do that first, get familiar with it. Strengthen your joints, reinforce your joints, make them more durable with the club bell, and then you get that, you can make your body stronger and you have a better relationship with the ground with the flow fit, which is the key thing about flow fit, is being able to have a good relationship with the ground, and that's good, especially as we get older too, right? You hear that like, you know, grandparents falling or something like that. Like, you don't want to fall and like break stuff. And, you know, you hear that all the time. Like, you know, someone in their later years of their lives, they fall and break their hip, it shortens their lifespan.
Right.
You know, and so that's, I mean, right away, you know, that's something that you want to be in your toolbox constantly. And then you go into the TACFIT, and it's going to create that solid base foundation, and teach you how to train metabolically without getting hurt, be smarter with your training, you know. And then you pack on some good muscle. Always pack on like 10 pounds of muscle when I do it, you know, and get some abs. Everyone likes abs, right? Okay, and then you get those too.
Man, all the girls that did it, you know, from here, they're like, I got ripped, you know. I don't know how that happened. It just came off. And they got super strong, you know, buff.
That's
at
amazing.
the same time, you know.
Yeah.
They got in the best shape of their lives.
Yeah, and if and then it teaches you how to move weight around too, because there's sandbags in there, there's med balls, you know, you're learning how to do pull-ups, kettlebells, and so you're learning how to use all these different tools proficiently, effectively. And then, you know, you start, you know, at first, you know, it still can be just a workout. And then, you know, of course, I think about it different at this point. I'd start seeing the holistic benefit from each tool, like what you can really, you know, versus another tool, right? If you put like a med ball and you have a kettlebell, you know, we go into detail about that, but it'll probably bore people. You know, we'll say that for another day. And so the TACFIT, you get that metabolic conditioning, teach you how to, you know, train hard without getting hurt, you know, which a lot of people, they train hard and they end up running into some kind of injury or something like that. So this is the first thing I've ever seen where you could just pour everything into it and then get better, which is amazing, right? And so once you have that, I mean, the sky's the limit, you know. Now you have this super solid foundation. And so going into like the mace after that, and of course Isak can explain it a lot better, like, you know, in the detail with the mace, but right away from my understanding is that you have this tool in your hand and all the switches you have to do with it. It's very much like you know, like striking combos would be, or like jiu-jitsu, you have to think 3 or 4 moves ahead. That's how the mace stuff is. You're not even really working out before you can wrap your brain around how to move the thing around and move it proficiently. Otherwise, you could just hold it in a static position and do whatever with it. But you could do that with a lot of things. And so the nice thing about the mace is those switches that you could do with it and turning it over, and what that does for your shoulders when you turn it over like that and do all these things, and what it does for your thoracic spine, right? But that's great if you're just standing bilaterally and doing that. You know, okay, fantastic, right? Now, what happens when you start doing lunges and stuff like that and then do that? And so that's where it goes back to like TACFIT and club bells and flow fit. Because if you have that solid base foundation, you're just going to progress so much faster. You know, you're not going to be left frustrated, even though you still could, right? You know, but why would you want holes in your game? You know what I mean?
I feel like TACFIT, your background, right? Your TACFIT helped you learn
for sure.
the tool better.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
give you a nice foundation.
Of course, like I said, every tool has a different holistic benefit, and so I still had to, and that was the beauty of the mace and how Isak put his program together, where it trains your brain first. You know, my coordination got better, you know, right away when I was doing that, from understanding how to, it's like patting your head and rubbing your stomach kind of thing, you know, and you move that thing around. And so, you know, but I know doing TACFIT, you know, I'm able to get into all the, you know, the lateral lunge, you know, step forward with the lunge without being out of balance, without having, you know, not understanding those positions, you know, because you're moving out of a bilateral stance. You're moving left, right, backwards, forwards. And so now if I'm restricted anywhere and then I'm not able to hold my structure, keep my crown to coccyx, you know, and work the 7 key components, you know, you really get to understand that and dial those in with TACFIT, club bells, and flow fit. You know, it really takes you deeper into understanding your body and how to control your body, right? So now when you have the mace tool, you have that out the way. You know, you have good command of your body. Now you can learn how to move it around. It's kind of like having a messy workspace area, right? You're trying to get some work done. You got the TV on. You got this going on. You're like, I can't do any work. Kids are running around me. Can I get an office somewhere? You know, it's kind of like that. You're cleaning up your office first so you can think and get the benefit from the tool.
Good, man. That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Where would you like to see, you know, we talked about, you had some dreams and things like that. Where would you like to see, you know, because you've been around, you know, you saw TACFIT, some things go wrong in the past, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about this sometimes, you know. I guess let's talk about a little bit about that, you know, like how do you see it now than it was, you know, for example, 10 years ago, the organization?
I mean, the system's the same,
right?
Man, it's the same. I mean, it's timeless, but like I understand, you know, to speak on what you're saying, you know, it's still, you know, this world's, you know, built on, you know, business and people working together to make things happen, you know. And I heard something recently, like, you know, if you want to succeed, we can all succeed together, you know. And if you want to fail, you can do that all by yourself. You know what I mean? Like anyone could do that if you want to, you know, you think you're too good or whatever the case may be. And I really believe in teamwork, you know, and you know, once again, I heard going through the system, teamwork makes the dream work. And it's a lot harder than if anyone knows anything about anything, it's tough to, you know, get a lot of people on the same page and have the same vision and deal with different personalities and seeing, you know, like, just, you know, what has happened in the past with a lot of systems, you know, and how convoluted they could be, or, you know, how the fitness industry can be and how it can be, you know, when people reach a certain place, you know, that's why you see a lot of fitness trainers are on their own, you know, or they're like Instagram, like, you know, 1 million followers, but they're all by themselves, you know, influencers or whatever the case may be. And is that any life to live? You know, I mean, they may make it look good on social media, but, you know, like I don't really care too much about that. Like I enjoy like real life.
I love our community. I love how we have such like badass dudes like all over the world, you know, that I can reach out to, you know,
and that's
get advice from, and just the community we have, you know, the connection.
That's one of the things TACFIT has always had is, you know, a lot of dreamers and believers, and you know, having you, you know, running the ship now, you know, a lot of stuff does roll downhill, you know, and you know, Scott developed this system, and he's never had someone like you to, you know, be the heart, you know what I mean, to all these veins that are going out, like, you know, all the people, all the coaches are all, they're you know, they all want something. They all want, you know, that support, you know, to make it real for them, you know. And Scott did that with his information he sent out to everyone. You know, everybody has that, and even he understands that he needs people to help him, you know, make it, you know, turn the I don't even know what word I'm looking for, but have that, you know, someone that complements what his talents are, you know. And, you know, Scott's, you know, great at
be able to communicate it, you know, in more approachable way, maybe.
Mm-hmm. I mean, people, whenever he grabs a hold of a room and he does a lecture, I mean, it's like all ears, you know. I don't know what he thinks about it, but everyone's like, you know, it's like gold coming off his lips whenever he talks, right? And so I see the appreciation like people have for that, and, you know, having you there can really help him do more of what he is really good at. Like, you know, one person can't do everything, you know, and that's why I enjoy working with people and sharing relationships, especially if we're all, you know, heading the same direction, right? And what Scott does is more than enough than what any one person can do. And the more people I connect in the system, like with you and like my business partner, Mikey, I mean, you guys all have that same trait. You guys all do more than what one person can do, you know, and you want to be able to enjoy it too, you know. So it's like, how long can you know, at some point you want to just, you know, sit back a little bit and just enjoy what you have done, but still have the passion to keep working and keep giving more. And that's where having a solid team comes in, that allows you to do that. And we foster each other's talents and put each other in positions to show what we're good at and what, because that's what ultimately we like to do, and you see what Scott Sonnon's doing right now. He's doing what he loves to do. It's not always like honky dory, like skipping down, life happens, things, there's, roadblocks or like obstacles that are in the way sometimes.
Success isn't a straight line, right?
No.
It goes left, right, all the way around. And you think it went wrong, but that's what we needed to get to where we're now, right?
And I don't think he's ever, lost the faith, no matter what has happened, at any point in his life. You could tell that from just the little conversations I have with him. He's always been, the same, like his spirit, his essence always been, the same, which is amazing, because he's had a lot of stuff happen to him. You've had a lot of stuff happen to you. And most of the people I keep around me that I really connect with have had a lot of stuff happen to them, and they're able to their spirit still shines through that, and I feel like, it takes a lot of those people coming together to make really something great happen. Yeah. And, hats off to you for keeping the right people around and being able to foster a lot of that, and, your faith and trust in people. And, and then we talked about that a little bit. It's not always easy to do. I mean, people that have big hearts, they, I feel like they get burnt a lot, and, it's sad or unfortunate if that happens, and those people just get too broken or lose all faith in everything, and they don't want to dream anymore or believe, or put the guards up and stuff like that. And, I've always been super hyper aware of that for myself, but then always look up to people that are able to do that with grace. They've been through shit, and they don't let it, get them down, or knock them off. Maybe it might knock them down, they get up and they still, are still passionate about life and, wanting to give back. And that's what this system's all about. And I want to be able to help, trainers coming in, athletes coming in, be able to give them that too, where they could do that same thing, what is given me, and I've been able to just with the certifications I went through, take them back home and develop a lot of relationships and be a better person, and you get anyone outside be like, oh, it's just exercise. Yeah, just exercise did all that. You're right. But we all know it's more than that. Yeah. And I feel just super grateful and blessed to be a part of it. And it's, I mean, it's, like I don't ever say that, like, people say I got to pinch myself, I might be dreaming. Like I say that all the time with the stuff that I'm doing, anything I've done with TACFIT, even if sometimes it's been nothing at all, it's just been me, because, I really, and, coming from a point where you're in so much pain and how miserable that would be, and where, like I said, I thought this was going to be my life, handicapped. I always have that to look back on, right? And stuff, is at its worst or whatever the case may be. I have, just that faith, and I feel that power and faith is greater than me, or anything else. And then when I look around, I see all the other practitioners around the world doing TACFIT. They all have that same vibe, that same idea. Like, you don't even have to talk to them about it. You can see it all over them, and it's impressive every time. Like when I come to certification, or if we do one online, or anyone I talk that's in the system, it's just, I never get old of hearing what it does for them and how much it helps them out, and I'm like, I thought it was just me.
Yeah.
But it's not.
Yeah. Amazing. All right. Thank you, man. Thank you. And man, you and just all the guys you guys are my heroes, and I'm so grateful, I'm so thankful that I get to do something that I'm so passionate and that I love so much, like I'm high on life just from being able to do this work, and to be able to be in a position to help make things happen, so thank you. And thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you to all the guys, all the team that we have, all my mentors, that have helped me along the way. And I'm really excited for the future. Where would you like to see TACFIT go?
Oh man, to Mars, take over the Earth, and go to Mars. We're going to Mars next, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, easily. I mean, why not? I mean, it's not. I don't think it's that big of a dream. You know,
no,
we're all human, and it helps humans be better. So why,
that's it.
Why not? I'd love to be able to help people, like, wherever they may be. If they maybe they feel like they need, to build a community where they're at of TACFIT. I feel like we have the right team, the right, because this is the hub right here for TACFIT, and we're gonna, create an awesome model that we'll be able to implement anywhere in the world to help, facilitate other people's dreams and help them have their own TACFIT gym, and whatever it is they see that as, that's going to fill their cup with, moving around, becoming a better human, and then sharing that with others. That is really what fills my cup all the time. Because, like I said, it helps me connect with people. I officiate sports, so when I'm out there doing that, I feel better. I'm sharper, and you have to be sharp when you're seeing plays and stuff happen like that. But not only that, when I'm talking to people, because you're in front of a lot of people. Most of them don't like you, but I can still smile at them and be like, hey, hi. Just don't throw anything at me. No, I'm kidding. But, from there to wherever, and you get to share something with people that is going to make them feel good. You're bettering their lives. If they have families and they have kids, I'm really like, like passionate about that too, because if the parents are, not happy, the kids aren't going to be as happy, right? If they're not able to, imagine if you could do more and play more with your kids and, and share that with them, it's infectious. It's like dropping a rock it's as simple as that, just working on yourself, even if you have something going on or not. Whoever you're seeing or you're around, they're going to be like, hey, what's going on with this guy? There's something different about him. Hey, what are you doing? Let's start this new workout. Oh, what is it? Talk about it. Boom. That's how it starts. And I want to be able to help people, have more of that, one way or another.
Yeah. Well, thank you, man. Thank you for all that you do. And look forward to the future together. And let's do this, right?
Man, I'm excited about the work. It's easy to be overwhelmed with thinking about all the things that need to be done, but I'm already doing that anyway, so I'm all for it. Whatever needs to be done.
How can people find you?
It's top secret. No, you can find me on Facebook. Aaron Cruz. I'm in Monterrey, California, Monterey County, and right now
you're on Instagram
I'm on
too.
Instagram as well. My tag is Alta, ALTA _Cruz. And, I have my own facility out there, but it's still locked. I haven't been able to do any business there for like a year, so everything's online, which, it's so easy for me to be in the dumps about that. And
we miss the people, huh?
Oh, of course. Oh my goodness.
When we had we were not doing classes, I got used to the computer, but just there's nothing that replaces the touch and just having people.
Yeah, bumping the music, watching them come in all maybe stressed from their day or whatever, and then leaving just like wow, you can see them light up, and the chatter starts, and they're alive again.
Yeah.
So anyway,
hopefully
anyhow,
soon.
though, yeah,
we'll be back.
We're online right now, so that's good.
It. Yeah.
I'm in everyone's living room,
That's right. And there's some good things, right? With our worldwide TACFIT cert that we did, we had people from all over the world, all online at the same time.
That was amazing. Yeah, it is super impressive to see people just, any way you could connect with people, that's another huge thing about life. So having people just, giving up, their time, their day to connect with like-minded people, to do the same stuff, that's great. We're able to, facilitate that as well, and do a good job with it too.
Yeah.
So look for more.
Yeah. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.